Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Javeria Sahar and you're welcome to this program, which is the part of our dialogue series. We have been regularly conducting different programs through our dialogue series with the purpose to discuss issues of certain importance through deliberative approach. And today we will be discussing the importance of defense in the context of Defense Day. Usually the term of defense is discussed in tangible phenomenon based on protection and safety of the borders. Moreover, the broader architecture of security involves the safety of state and its people from danger, and it is centered on self-defense and pro-nuclear policies and even surrounded by culturally specific situations. But the intangible phenomenon of the defense of the institutions and society of the state seldom comes under discussion. And today we will be discussing these two aspects of the defense, and we have with us Dr. Aisha Shehzad, in charge Department of Political Science, and Dr. Sadia Mahmood Falki, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, to discuss that.
Thank you, Javeria. You have given a very comprehensive elaboration of the concept of defense. Here I must focus on the institutional defense to ensure good governance in Pakistan. I perceive that the overlapping of powers among institutions has been a long-standing issue in the political history of Pakistan. Although the constitutional design focuses on the proper distribution of powers among institutions, but the institutions used to trespass in each other's domains in the past. There are multiple examples, like we see that during Ayub Khan regime, the system of basic democracies was established, but what actually happened? The representative institutions of Union Council, Tehsil Council and District Council, they were under the control of bureaucracy like Deputy Commissioners and Tehsildars. So that was against the spirit of institutional balance and democracy. Then the tug of war continued between the executive and the judiciary, like when the first Constituent Assembly was dissolved by the Governor General Ghulam Muhammad in 1954. That unconstitutional act was justified by the judiciary in the name of doctrine of necessity, just because of the undue pressure by the executive. So that was another example of the transgression of powers by the institutions. Then during 1990s, we see that the institutional confrontation took a new shape when under 8th Amendment, frequent dissolution of assemblies took place, and the President used discretionary powers and dissolved multiple assemblies during the decade of 1990s. So that was again against the spirit of democracy and institutional boundaries. So although this 8th Amendment was repealed under the 13th Amendment, and then after its reversal it was again eliminated under the 18th Amendment, but throughout in the decade of 1990s, this move actually halted the natural process of democracy. Then another example, we see that during Musharraf regime, the Chief Justice of Pakistan was deposed, and that created another the phenomena of judicial activism in the politics of Pakistan, and that also resulted in the lawyers movement in 2007. So all these examples actually manifest that institutions used to create infringement or the dilemma of institutional imbalance. So we actually apart from commemoration of our the successes or all the sacrifices by the armed forces, I think we should also focus on institutional boundaries, institutional defense and institutional integrity to ensure good governance in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javeria. I am in consensus with Dr. Aisha Shehzad that alongside tangible determinants, intangible element of defense should also be considered in debates of security in Pakistan. Dr. Aisha rightfully expounded that functional state institutions together with political norms of constitutionalism can enhance the security of Pakistani state. No doubt conventional weapons and nuclear arsenals are quite important for enhancing the defense of Pakistan. However, in the wake of contemporary challenges to Pakistani state, merely relying on technology and weaponry is not enough. An underlying reason is that because defense has become now a multi-dimensional process where relationship between state and its society and among the member of society are quite important to manifest the security of Pakistani state. The security sector in Pakistan is largely comprised of state institutions and structures whose prime function is to protect the society. Unfortunately, over the years, territorial defense in Pakistan is overemphasized while overlooking the need for democratic governance of security. For ensuring the democratic governance of security, we need a vibrant civil society largely represented by universities, think tanks, NGOs, social rights movements, democratic political parties, and most importantly, a pluralistic media. A vibrant civil society in Pakistan can raise public awareness on security related issues. It can also articulate the concerns and public expression of needs and apprehension on security related matter. It can also provide specialized information and expertise to the person and organizations who are directly involved in security related policies and processes. Most importantly, a vibrant civil society in Pakistan can act as a watchdog. Now, additionally, while maintaining and designing the security and defense related policy, there must be a consideration of the fact that ethnic identities are the key stakeholder of Pakistani state because they are the one who established Pakistani Federation. So the idea of national integration must be based on consensus on the core principle of Pakistani state rather than imposing unity on the basis of certain political and religious philosophy. So at state and society level in Pakistan, there should be more inclusive approach by addressing the concerns of marginalized classes. For example, ethnic identities, religious minorities, and the weaker group of Pakistani societies in the terms of socio-economic status like women, transgender, old age people and children. Now there is another important step which need to incorporate about the national identity of Pakistani state because the state discourses should be characterized by inclusive cultural narratives because social system of Pakistani state is already synthesis of different culture. For example, Turkish, Arab, Iranian, Greek, British and many other. So the Pakistani identity is not derived from single culture or single factor. So there is need to recognize that Pakistani identity is combination of different factors. We should own our roots in South Asia. Another important element is the religion which can play its role in the defense of Pakistan because religion is politically instrumentalized for years to secure legitimacy for the authoritarian regime. Now there is need to revisit the ideological boundaries of Pakistani state. The reason is that for most years, the ingredient of Islamic ideology have never been practiced in Pakistan. For instance, social justice, equality with a sense of equity, brotherhood apart from races, and most importantly, the concept of Islamic democracy with two major principles, rule of law and accountability. I would like to conclude my argument on a simple note that if security policy of Pakistan is not addressing the need of Pakistani society, then even a natural climatic incident can turn into a tragedy in no time. And how it can turn into a tragedy? Because it was frequently overlooked. So idea is that if society is not empowered, the defense of Pakistani state is not possible in its true sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Aisha and Dr. Sadia, for your valuable comments, and I would like to conclude that we as a nation need to understand that until or unless we defend our institutions and society, we cannot overcome certain problems. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.